right, good morning. Good morning. Certainly hope you all can hear my voice. Certainly hope you all are having a good Monday. It's the first Monday of March. Wow, guys, we are now, see, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We are 9 months away. We are a whole baby away from Grand Theft Auto 6. And hopefully we're all here to make it. We're going to go ahead and, as the kids would say, get her done. My generation came up with that. So certainly hope you all had a good weekend. Hope you and your families are doing well, doing better, and yeah, you're not sick because again, on the East Coast we got pelted. Well, the East and Southeast got pelted with snow. Hopefully, it's supposed to snow again today, at least where I live, and I hope it doesn't. But the high is only supposed to be like 40 degrees, so we will see. Tomorrow's supposed to be 60 degrees. Like, this is why people are getting sick. Hold on, let me turn off my heater. All right, there we go. All right then. But certainly hope you all are having a good Monday. It's not a manic Monday. Shout out to the late great Prince who wrote the song Manic Monday. It was also performed by, I believe, I can't remember if it was the Bangles or Banana Ramen. But one of those groups knocked it out of the park as well. Shout out to those folks that did it. But as you can see right now, we'll start getting into the podcast. Got a few things to talk about here. Got two of them that are rumors that have to be dealt with, and the other ones are actual numbers that are actually in the win. So what we have here, let me go back over to my other page. What we have here is the fact that we have a fact where that Resident Evil 9 and PlayStation Studios, as far as PlayStation 5, it is moving PlayStation 5s. Now let's go back a whole week before the state of play. Right before the state of play, shout out to Hip Hop Gamer, shout out to the brother Hip Hop Gamer, came out and publicly announced it after the state of play. He called it the SOP, state of play. After the state of play, that more PlayStations would be sold. He still has that tweet. He's got the receipts if you don't believe me. He was 100% correct. This game, Resident Evil 9, has helped Sony, because again, remember this. Now you're seeing a couple of things here. Number one, you're seeing why Sony wants to attach its hardware to these studios, even though they're not first-party studios. You still want your device to be the primary studio that they show. And again, if you have the correct setup for your PlayStation, meaning that you have the PlayStation 5 Pro, and you have an OLED, an OLED monitor or TV, I can just tell you, on my OLED monitor, the game looks effing phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. And to talk about Resident Evil, for some reason on my television set, it looks washed out. Now, so I need to go back into my settings and kind of relook, but I don't have that dark texture looking on my TV. Not yet. I got to fool with it. I got a little more time today. Resident Evil came out on Friday. I played it Friday, streamed it for a little bit. I streamed it on Twitch and I streamed it on YouTube for about a half hour. The first one I did the over the shoulder thing, which you can't change that angle. You can pull the camera back if you didn't know. Then I did I also did another one where it was this first party, talking about for Grace, which everybody, if you don't know, in the game, in the actual physical video game, when they showed it at the Game Awards, that whole opening scene with the FBI with the FBI boss and talking to Grace, that's in the game, so that's not a spoiler. I am not going to spoil the game. I will simply say that if you like these type of games, survival horror, it's not for everybody. If you like survival horror games, then this is your game. This game is phenomenal. And I've been playing it now. I haven't played it today. I'm going to probably play it a little bit this afternoon. I've gotten to I got to a part in there, which I won't give away. You all know, great. You saw me walking down the street. You saw me go into the hotel, wherever I was in. You saw that part. So I'm not spoiling anything. And but make sure you try to get it. But if you get it, and it looks great on all the consoles. I know the Series S and the Nintendo system, it looks washed out. It just does compared to the PlayStation. But the PlayStation Pro, it should look the best on because Sony helped Capcom, who makes the game. They helped them optimize it for their console. Now, the same thing they did with Capcom, they are doing with the folks at Rockstar Games for Grand Theft Auto. They're doing the exact same thing as far as helping them optimize it. They are in there with them, helping them create the game so it will specifically look and run a certain way on the PlayStation platform. Henceforth, why I said over 2 years ago that Grand Theft Auto is going to be 60 frames per second. You all can check the receipts if you want to. Go ahead, I dare you. Make sure when you do, however, make sure you just, when it comes out in this 60 frames per second, just make sure you say, yeah, Craig told us that a couple years ago, and I doubted him, and I'll never doubt him again. Just do it like that. Now, the same people that told you that it was going to be 30, ain't no way, and all that kind of stuff, now they're even saying it. That it will more than likely be 60 frames per second. Doesn't mean it won't have a 30 FPS mode, but for the PS5 Pro, it will have a 60 FPS mode, and it's going to have the upscaling with PSSR 2.0. So you're fine. I mean, you will be fine if you want the definitive console version of the game. They still don't have a release date or release window, I should say, for PC. And my prediction to you all still stands. The closer we get to the launch of that game, the angrier the PC community is going to get. The angrier the PC community is going to get, because that's Grand Theft Auto is the grand party. It's the Oscars. It's the biggest party in the history of intellectual property, gaming wise, interactive. It's, to me, based on what I am seeing, it's going to be bigger than the MCU, Star Wars, Star Trek, all combined. It's going to be, as far as gaming is concerned, it's going to be bigger than Pac-Man. It is going to be an actual social event when it happens. So, and the biggest game I can tell you all in the history of gaming was Pac-Man. It's not even close. Pac-Man had cartoons, had t-shirts, had hats, socks, underoos, shoes, lunchboxes. If you could, it was all over. Backpacks. It had all of it. Grand Theft Auto is going to eclipse that. And Sony has their hands right up in that pocket. So just stay tuned for that. That's coming in May, late May. I think I was told late April, mid-May is when you're going to start seeing Grand Theft Auto 6 stuff start showing up, like in stores. This some stuff, some t-shirts and stuff like that. We'll have to wait and see. But we'll just make sure that if that is something you want to play, keep following me, because I'm the one that told you it's going to be 60 frames per second, so you might as well just go ahead and stay here and make yourself comfortable. Not too comfortable, though. Not too comfortable. So as you can see on the screen I have there, I have the PlayStation Studios. And as you can clearly see, and this comes from Twitter, and I cannot think of the URL I got it off of, so shout out to the gentleman or the lady that did it. But you can see here, 12 new projects, 12 new games, 7 of the 12 confirmed for this year. So it is what it is. Also, if you don't know, shout out to Zubitech. He just put up a tweet that says that Housemarque is hiring for his next project. So they're winding down Soros, which comes out next month. So they're going to be winding that down, and then they're going to start on their brand new project. So just so you know. But as you can see right here, Guerrilla Games is working on Hunter Gathering, the Horizons Hunter Gathering game right now. Insomniac is working with Wolverine. These games are coming. Wolverine's coming out this year. Ghost of Yotei Legends. The check mark means it's coming out this year. If you want to know, what's the green check mark for? Oh, no, I'm sorry. These are games that are confirmed coming from the studios, not they're coming out. God of War Trilogy Remake, that was announced during the State of Play. Shout out to TC Carson. We already know Naughty Dog is doing Intergalactic. We know they're doing it. So that's coming out. Bend is working on a new project, apparently. I have no idea what it is. Bungie has Marathon. They just did a stress test. Heard it got mixed reviews. That's kind of what I expected it to do because it's a beta. Doesn't have everything in there yet. My question is, did it crash? Did it act, did people have all kind of weird things happening in their games? There were some reports of that, but overall the beta, my understanding, went well. MLB The Show, we know that's about to come out in a few more weeks as well because baseball season, they're already in preseason with baseball. Gran Turismo from Poly and Haven is still hanging on by a finger with Fair Games, apparently. Then you have the team of Sobe. They have a new project, Dark Outlaw Games, new project. I don't know if you all didn't know they had these studios. LFG is still on their new project. XDev and Nixes is in support. Fire Sprite is working on its new project. Again, this is what has been reported. Then you have Media Molecule. I think that's what the MM is. They have a new project they're working on. Now, their partner projects. Let me make this. These aren't first-party studios. Bad Robots working on a game. Kojima's game. Kojima Productions. They're working on Fizznet. NC Soft. Soft. Horizon Steel Frontiers. Arc Systems. Arc is one of the studios that PlayStation, I shouldn't say that. That somebody put out, I can't remember if it was William Aguilar. He put out the studios that are hot code for Sony to possibly buy. Arc was on there. The Utizero Games is working on a new project. Those are partner games. And of course, they've got their China Hero, their Indian Hero, and their African Hero project. So again, these are, and this is on Twitter. You all can go look this up yourself. I just wanted you all to see this so that you all can get a visual representation because people don't want to read. This way you all can get a visual representation of what they're working on and who's doing what. That way you all don't get caught up in the whole back and forth with they're not doing this, they're not doing this. You got a lot of people that are envious, they're not jealous. Look up the difference between envy and jealousy. You have a lot of people who are very envious of what Sony's doing. And now they're getting more and more upset with some of these other rumors that are out here. We'll get to that here shortly. But just wanted you all to see that. And make sure you go check that out. So moving to our next story. It does have to do with Shift Up Games, which Sony partnered with for the game Stella Blade. Sony partnered with them with Shift Up Studios in South Korea. And they helped publish one of the better games that I've had. I was able to finish that game. It was fun. If you don't know, let me see here. Shift Up is moving into, let me see if I can find it here. See if I can put this on the screen. Well, no, that's not going to work. I have a link. There we go. All right, I found it. All right, so let's put this on the screen. Let me go over here. Let me click this button right here. Screen. There we go. So if you don't know, Shift Up is moving into publishing. So they're looking into it. They've hired more people. It's a good article here. I left a link in the description if you all want to read it. I highly recommend that you read it. But this comes from Automation. And they have a wonderful picture of the protagonist, Eve, on the cover there for your article. But again, they state that they're openly recruiting for positions for marketing and PR. And they're with Sony. Sony has helped them kind of blaze the way, kind of show them how to do this. So it was just part of the deal that they had with Shift Up. That's why Sony was able to get that deal. Like, hey, look, it's in about where you are, where you're going to be in 6 months or 1 year is where you're going to be at in 3 to 5 years for your company. And again, they're successful. They even got some kind of award from the president or somebody over there in South Korea. So it says they're going to be supporting Shift Up is going to be supporting in-house titles for the long run. So they're going to be making games, not just Stella Blade. They're going to be making different games. So, which is good news. Okay? Which is great news. So, of course, with Shift Up, everybody's over-exaggerated with the women, you know, how that is, right? So, but this is good news. So they are working on a game, or they have a project they're working on called Project Witches, which is good. This is good. This is now a successful studio. And then you got your numbnut nibbies out here and these juicy ass Jangos talking about, well, they need to buy them and stuff like that. Sony should have bought them. And it's like, well, for all we know, Sony offered to buy them and they turned them down. They turned them down. That is just that's the truth. We don't know. And people, when they don't know, they speculate and create rumors, and they end up fucking shit up for themselves. And at the end of the day, I really don't try to do the rumor thing over here because it's self-defeating. We're gonna look at the other rumor that that turned out not to be true, and how many of these moist ass fruit booties got caught up in it because they're, again, a bunch of emotional blue pill men. That's just the best way to put it. We're going to have to talk about that here shortly. So Stella Blade, developer Shift Up, looking to strengthen its self-publishing capabilities. So that's where we're at with it. That's where we're at with it. And so this will include them self-publishing, which I think is fantastic. Congratulations to this studio. Congratulations to everybody who bought Stella Blade and enjoyed it. Okay. I thought the game was fun. There's nothing on there that she's doing that you haven't done in other games. It's just that your protagonist is extremely attractive, and she's got a little jiggle on her. So that's just the best way. Even in the cutscenes, when she is walking in the cutscene, she is bouncing. So this it's just part of that game's personality. But wanted to show you all this so that you all get a look at, as for gamers, that hey, because your support of this game in this studio is going to be able to expand and bring you more stuff. Now, whether you like it, whether you buy it, that is up to you. That is totally up to you. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll move on to the next story, which turned out, we'll go ahead and talk about these Juice Jangos, which is very simple. The stuff with Blue Point and Sony. These juicy ass blue pill Jangos came out and told you all that this was Sony's fault and that Sony doesn't know what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. But it turned out, with the latest report that came out that has been authenticated, is that Blue Point Games pitched the God of War game to Sony. Sony greenlit the game. Then Blue Point started getting into making the game, and then they realized we don't know what the hell we're doing. So they asked for more support, and there was no one left to support them. Everybody had divvied out to different things. So Sony canceled that project. It wasn't that they didn't like the project. They told them to start making the game, build demos. Blue Point, allegedly, we now know, missed a lot of those points. And then that starts to back up. See, because you push one date, now you're pushing into your next date, and then they're still trying to get, the first part done or the second part done. So they ended up, you all are way behind with spending money like this constantly. And we need to go ahead and just move on. We need to move in. We need to move on. Move on. So they move on. Then Blue Point comes back and says, hey, look, Bloodborne. Let us do the Bloodborne remake. And Sony looked at the numbers and said, hey, you know what? Start making it. We'll go talk to From Software. So From Software told them no. And so it wasn't Sony that didn't want the game made. It was From Software. From Software is the primary on that game. All right? That has nothing to do with Blue Point and or Sony. This From Software said no. They said no. So what was Sony supposed to do? So Herman Holtz says, okay, From Software has turned that down. Now he's coming to you all for a third time. What do you have planned? What is your backup? Because they should have 3 games in the pipeline. Every one of these studios has 3 games in the pipeline, except the ones that make Gran Turismo. But everybody else, 3 games in the pipeline. Even Horizon, even the people at Guerrilla Games made a VR game. They made, a mobile game. Now they're making an online game. So they're touching every point. Pause. They're touching every point that they can touch. And they're happy about it. Make sure you hit the like button and share. Again, no, you don't have to donate anything but a like and share or thumbs up, whatever you want to call it. Your money is not needed because grown men should not be giving grown men money. If you absolutely feel moved by the gospel and you want to donate, that's fine. I'd rather you all donate it to something that like St. Jude's Hospital or Shriners Hospital or, something that can actually help people, because I'm okay. I'll be fine. I'm a grown ass man. Don't need your money. But so if you donate to one of those causes. That's all I can really say about that. So where was I at? All right. So Guerrilla, they have like 4 or 5 projects. So Blue Point needed to be in the same predicament or the same launch tube, and they couldn't think of anything that Sony wanted. So Sony, again, like Thanos said, the hardest decisions require the most. And Herman Holtz went Thanos on him. And when he went Thanos on him, he decided that their studio was no longer needed. Because what are you making? You're not making anything. You're not making anything. So it's time for you all to move on. Walkies. And because these juicy ass Jangos are emotional, like having friggin' athlete's foot or something. These guys are emotional. They immediately come out, start making videos saying how horrible Herman Holtz is and how, they're mad and they're upset and boo-hoo, we're losing out. They tried with Blue Point. They tried and they failed. At least they tried. They gave Blue Point not 1, not 2, but 3 opportunities, and they couldn't come up with nothing. So, and it is not that the studios aren't supported. How come Blue Point struggled, but Housemarque did not struggle? It is because Housemarque made its own intellectual property called Returnal. They made their own intellectual property. Blue Point was making games that other people owned. Blue Point did not own one thing. That's the problem. That is the problem. Even them pitching the God of War game, that's already out. That IP is owned by someone, Sony. So it makes no sense for them to, it makes no sense for them to say, yeah, you all can remake a game that one of our in-house studios can just remake or, redo or remaster or whatever. That's not why you guys are here. And again, you have to remember, the Juicy Jangos, when Blue Point was bought, immediately thought they're going to remake a bunch of games. That's not why they bought them. That was why these Juice Monsters, that's why they went ahead and said, they told their audiences, here's why they bought Blue Point Games. Well, you were wrong. They bought Blue Point Games because Blue Point Games, they wanted them to make an original IP. You all screaming. See, the same Juice Monsters are out here talking about, well, they need to make, where's the original games? Okay, that's why they bought Blue Point, and Blue Point fell on their face. So do not get caught up with the bullshit coming out of these dudes' mouths. These dudes are a bunch of moist monsters. They are. They see something, they have an emotional reaction, and then it turns out they were wrong. Now let's see how many of them come out and say they wrong. I will give MBG a half a point, because he did read from the article that they went ahead and said this wasn't on Sony, this is on Blue Point. He was blaming Sony, so he had to back off a little bit. Again, he didn't apologize for his rant, him going off on a full moist monster Django, Juice Django rant. But he did at least come out and separate the two. So I'll give half a point to that. But he needs to man up and say, yeah, you know what? I thought this was on Sony. It wasn't on Sony. This is on Blue Point Games. Sony gave them 3 opportunities. They didn't get it done. That's the end of it. That's it. It's over. And people are like, well, how come they won't make Resistance? Because Resistance is made by Insomniac. And if anybody's going to redo Resistance, it's going to be Insomniac. You see what I'm saying? Isn't that who made Resistance? Was it Insomniac? And then, what about Killzone, they'll say. Well, why? They have Guerrilla Games that already created that. See what I mean? They create authentic intellectual property, and then that's the end of it. But for some reason, these moist monsters, these juicy Django moist monsters, they're sitting up there talking, like I said, out of this emotional, like they came out of single mother households. This is the best way to put it. Emotional as hell. Emotional as hell. So, but that needed to be talked about and taken care of, at the beginning, because that's who these people are. And you all will just keep noticing it. Again, same people that were bitching about Blue Point Games. And this is what I said would happen. You're going to bitch about Blue Point Games, and 100 hours later, they're jerking themselves off to the beta of Marathon, saying how, look at what they're doing. They're jerking themselves off to the beta of Horizon. And then they set out there and have a giant juice explosion Friday when Resident Evil comes out. I mean, nobody's talking about Blue Point Games anymore. It's just not even, it's gone. That story was a 1.5 day story. Now it's over with. Even these juice monsters don't talk about it anymore. So let's just, again, they had their little minstrel show. They had their little blue pill minstrel party. Now they're moving on. So it's like, good. You need to move on, And if you don't like something, just, bounce. Bounce. Me and my girlfriend went to Olive Garden. She didn't like it. We went back. She thought maybe she just got a bad plate. We went back about 3 weeks later, and she didn't like it. And she talked to the manager. And the manager said, yes, they've changed some stuff. I won't say what he said, that they had changed some stuff. So guess what we did? She decided, well, because it's what they've done I don't like, we can just go somewhere else. So yeah, now we just go right across the street to PF Chang or something like that. So what she does like, because we love the little lettuce wraps that are really spicy. We love those. But again, you see, that's what adults do. Something happens, they check it out, they don't like it. Instead of complaining, we could have stood out in front of Olive Garden and argue. I mean, how dumb would we have looked? They've changed something, we didn't like it, we left. You see what I'm saying? That's called being an adult. Here's what a child does. That's what a child does. And so you will be treated like children until you act like adults. I will talk to you like a child until you start acting like an adult. It's that simple. I also have a poll up here, pause, and which we're going to get into next, which is, do you believe the rumor of Sony moving away from launching games on PC? Now, well, let's go ahead and get into this right now, because this is a massive rumor. I get it. Now, I want to acknowledge that it is coming from a lot of people that have a lot of bona fides. There's no doubt. Jason Scheire, the fake great, Sneakos, or whatever he calls himself, and I forgot the other one. I think, again, it's like 3 or 4 people that have a lot of say. But let me shoot it down right now. This is not true. Okay, this is not true. And again, remember, nothing is true until Sony says it. And I can't find any quotes where Sony has said in a press release or anything, okay, that they had, and again, they have their meeting next month. The end of Sony's Q25 is the 31st of this month, the last Tuesday of the month. So the following month, which is April, that's when they're going to announce what their strategy is for the year for their shareholders, where their numbers are, where they think they're going, what's doing good, what's doing bad, what's staying the same, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this stuff with them pulling back from PC is not true until they say it. And it's really sad that I'm seeing a lot of people get caught up in a rumor because they want it to be true. And it is a rumor. However, the reaction that this rumor got from the ponies and from the PC community is a complete. I mean, I can understand why people are talking about it because these PC folks over the weekend were going crazy. Like, they can't believe Sony's doing this. It's like, you show me where they're doing this. Show me where Sony officially came out and said it. And until you can show that, then guess what? It's not real. It's just what these guys and gals want. And I'm telling you all here in this dojo, don't believe the hype. Just don't believe it. Okay, it's until Sony says it, it is not true. It is not true until Sony says it. Again, just understand that. All right, understand that it ain't true until Sony says it, and you will save yourself and your cheeks. This is about saving your own cheeks at this point. You all need to save your cheeks and not worry about what other people are saying. Right? You just don't. You know, you do not want to get caught up in that. So I'm trying to change the board here if I can remember how to do it, because I do have another image to show you all. But now I can't find how I put that up there. Ah! Okay. All right. Well, hold on. Let me see if I can create something. I should not be doing this while I'm talking to you all. So, Public Enemy, back, my generation had a saying called "Don't believe the hype." And here it is. So let me add a source. Let me browse. Let me download. Let me see if I can find it. I cannot find it. Damn it, Craig. It's right there, but I can't find it. All right. Anyway, so don't get caught up in it, guys. I can tell you right now, Wolverine will be on PC because I can just tell you that because Wolverine is owned by Marvel Games. It's not owned by Sony. Sony has the publishing contract to make the game. Again, what does Marvel Games want for their intellectual properties? They want high quality, high end games. Sony has delivered that with Spider-Man. That game is high quality. You can say you don't like it, and that's fine, but you can't argue the quality, the way the game presents itself, the characters. That's what Sony has with them. So now it's a little, and again, that's the game. Sony does own anything over like 26 minutes or something like that, because those are considered short films. And Sony owns the films. That's it. Now, have they bled them over? Yes. I don't know if you noticed the last Spider-Man movie, the one with Doctor Strange and all the other Spider-Mans, they have put the thing Feast that Peter Parker worked at or volunteered at, where he worked at Feast. That's part of the MCU now. They put that in the MCU. If you didn't know that, if you watch the fight between Doctor Strange and Peter Parker, you will see a Feast truck. You will see it. So that's now canonized. So congratulations to Insomniac. That's something that they created for their game universe. And Sony said, we like this. We took it to Marvel. Marvel said, yeah, that's fine. They put it into the movie. Go check that out. It's a deep cut. You all may not understand that. But that's what's happening. So do not get caught up in this. Now, I mean, there are plenty of reasons. I can actually see plenty of reasons why Sony would move away from PC. Like, I can literally see it. PC parts are more expensive. More people aren't going to be doing the do-it-yourself. I think that's called DIY projects on PC. That's true. That is 100%. Shout out to Porter Rock. Got a video up about it. Make sure you go check that out. He published it today. So make sure you go check that out. I put the link in the description. The link is actually in the chat. You click on it, it'll take you right to it. So I can understand. I'm more in agreement with King Thrash here. I can understand and I see why. Again, I'm gonna make this clear. I can see why they would do it, but I just don't think they're doing it. And because again, why do I believe they're not doing it? Because Sony hasn't said they're doing it. They're again. I want to confirm. Yes, Sneako and whatever his name is, and the fake great hate, whatever these guys' names are, Jason Scheire. They have connections, and if they're all saying the same thing, it probably does have some legs to it. And I am going to talk to some people later today about this. But they actually work out in Hollywood, and they know some of the Sony people. They work with them, so they may have a little more information, and we'll go ahead and see how that moves. And I got no problem, and I'll do a podcast on Wednesday, Hump Day, and I am going to find out what exactly is going on. So at least from that perspective. But for your own sake, for your own cheeks. Don't get caught up with these ponies out there running their mouths about this, because again, until Sony says it, it's not true. All right, it's just a rumor, and I know. And see, that's in between the gamers in the PlayStation community and the ponies. The gamers are going to just play the games and not give a damn about the rumors. They're going to be like, they have every right to ask where the games are. That's why I showed that screenshot earlier of here's the studios, here's what they're working on. Don't get caught up in it. Okay? Do not get caught up in it. This has everything here that you need to know. And it's on Twitter as well. If you want to save that screenshot, you have my permission. That way you all don't get caught up. See, the key thing is now that we're in the prison yard, I'm trying to tell you how to protect your cheeks. Okay? And don't get caught up with these Zest monsters online that are struggling right now because things aren't going the way they want it. But then you find out, you boil everything down to where they're just a bunch of bitch-made fanboys and nobody cares about what they want. But they do have a voice. I mean, they are part of the community. We just have to make sure they're part of the community that nobody gives a damn about. So, and that's the thing. So how do you do that? Well, you simply wait for the information, and then you go ahead and you move about. You move about. Like, oh, okay, here's the real information. And now we can go ahead and move on. Forget about the rumors. Don't need the rumors when I got the info right in front of me. I got the press release right here. And let me make this clear. If Sony is doing this, and I said if they're doing it, then that means that that's what Sony's going to do. I'll be the first one to say, yeah, they got 5.5 years of information about putting their games on PC, and they didn't like the information that they got, so they decided to move to go differently. I'll be the first one to say it. But until Sony officially announces it, it is just a rumor. And just because these guys and these gals want Sony to do this, doesn't mean that's what Sony is doing. Just give yourself 6 more weeks to find out the correct information. The reason I'm saying 6 weeks is because in April, that's when Sony will have their press releases. They're going to do it then. That's when they'll talk to their shareholders. And then we'll know exactly what they're doing. And let me make this clear. Either they're going to announce that they are doing this, or they're going to say we're not, or they're not going to say nothing, which means they're not doing it. So we'll see. We're going to find out. That's why, that way, if you do what I'm doing right now, if you take that advice, you will not be caught up. Because if they don't say anything, then these dudes that have come out and ran their mouths, they're gonna just be a bunch of pretty brown men, and it's gonna be funny as hell. Like, hey, look, you didn't believe that because that's all you gotta say. I didn't really know to believe it or not because Sony hadn't said anything. But it's okay to take. I've always said it's okay to kind of take a foot and take a step that way, but don't believe it. Just wait for the correct information to come out, and then go from there. We will go from there, okay? But I wanted to get that out of the way, and I think that's this broke last night. After this, we'll do the Q&A. This broke last night. Allegedly, Corey Barlog's game that he's working on is a God of War game, but it is not with Kratos. It's with it's with Kratos' wife, and i.e. the boy's mom, Atreus' mom, or Loki's mom. And my understanding, and again, they can do what they want to with the lore, because it's their lore. They're creating their own lore. According to the comic books, Loki's mother, I thought was a frost giant. And I also thought they said that in the first God of War game, but maybe I misunderstood what was said, which is very possible, because it was 6 years ago. Well, it was longer than that. It was 8 years ago when I played that God of War game. And I'm still playing Ragnarok. So people are like, well, how come you haven't played Ragnarok yet? Well, because there's other things. I haven't finished the, what's the name of that game? Assassin's Creed Shadows, because I got caught up playing Ghost of Yotai. Ghost of Yotai is it's a better game. Ghost of Yotai is the better game between the two. Nothing against Ghost, nothing against Shadows. Shadows is a very good game. I'm enjoying playing it myself, but Yotai's the better of the two. It's just a better game, and that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with Shadows, though. So, but I did finish Yotai. I did finish Stella Blade. So that's 2 games in 2 months. And this month I'm going to finish the Battlefield 6 campaign. That'll be 3 games. Then I'll start working more on Resident Evil. Then we'll get to what's the name of that game? Crimson Desert. I don't know if you all have seen the new PlayStation commercial that they just put out yesterday about Crimson Desert. So make sure you go check that out. I'm not going to show it to you. You all got to do your own research. It's okay to do your own reading. All right, now we'll go ahead and we'll get into the Q&A. So if you got any questions, that's perfectly fine. Let me get the music on here. All right, got a little music playing. All right, got some music playing. And so let's go ahead and let's see what you all are talking about over here. First of all, shout out to everybody being here. Make sure you hit that like button and share. Alexander, WB and Paramount, I'll talk about that on Wednesday when more information comes out. Resident Evil or Resident Evil Village or 9. Please, I'm not far enough into 9 to even know that answer. Spider-Man brand new day trailer. Get it ready. Yeah, I'm not going to watch this trailer. I'm just going to go see the movie. Nexus still open. Okay. Alrighty. But shout out to you, Rapier H8X. I see you. I guess that's Hex. So shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Thanks for being here. Plus Ultras in the house. Let's see here. Ghostface or Michael Myers. Again, Michael Myers is unstoppable on Halloween night. So I'm sorry. Michael Myers is the embodiment of evil in the form, an upright walking form. So that's pretty much should secure that talk right there. He's talking that Ish says it's crazy because he made a tweet the other day, a few days ago at Zubitech, Resident Evil sold. I don't know. Yeah, no, and again, a lot of people were telling you guys this, okay? A lot of people, not me, but I heard a lot of people saying that Resident Evil 9 physically, unless you pre-ordered it physically, was sold out. And it was. Now, I know on the University of Kentucky campus, we have a Target. It's a small Target. We have a Target on our campus, and they have it there. Because I went there last night and I saw it. So they had it there, but I already bought it, right? So I'm not going to buy it again. Unless it's on sale, then I might, But shout out to Sean K. I'm going to be following. Make sure you follow Sean. He's got all these platinum trophies and things like that. And he's got a lot of trophies. So if you want to follow a trophy monster, he's the man. He's streaming the game. And so is Mag. They're streaming the game. So if you get stuck, like I would eventually get stuck, and I will be looking at my phone to cheat. And remember, I told you all that. I am not going to sit around and solve a bunch of damn puzzles and cheat. You know, when I can just cheat and get past the puzzles, because that's the way I play those type of games. I just want to enjoy the game, and the game is fun. The game is it's fun. So at least the first hour is. I'm about an hour in. So, and I'm at one of the scenes that you see. Okay, if you watch the RE9 trailer, I am at the scene where she's tied up on that bed, or in that whatever she's in. She's in that. Remember, she's tied up. She wakes up on the trailer. See, I'm not spoiling the game. I'm telling you everything that you all can look and see yourselves. So, let's see here. On PS5 Pro. Well, the game is just sold out. But yeah, on PS5 Pro, it looks very nice. D-Nice is in the house. It's a rumor that has credibility. Yes, D-Nice, you're 100% correct. But until Sony says it, it has zero credibility. But I want to make this clear. I understand that people are going to run with that because those guys that are reporting that have great track records. I'm simply saying, I can speak for myself here. I don't believe it until Sony says it. That's my recommendation for you all as well. But you all are on your own time, right? You know what I'm saying? Plus, Ultra says, sorry, I believe the move away. Oh, you don't have to be sorry. I mean, I'm not here to say not to believe it. I'm here to say that I'm not going to believe it until Sony releases some type of official statement. I recommend that's what you all do. And don't get caught up in everything that's going on online on Twitter with I mean, again, I understand. There's a group of people, a group of ponies who do not want Sony putting their games on PC. I totally understand it. I respect their view, but it's unlikely because it's hard. But again, I can see it happening because like Puerto Rock is right about the cost of PC parts. And I saw another person that said, and again, I want to iterate this. Didn't Lynn Tile of Sony come out and say something to the effect of, we're going to have to go get more money out of the already existing ecosystem? She said something of that on that line. You know, she said something like that. So, I mean, I'm paraphrasing her. So I expect prices to go up, which I've been saying for months, that prices are going to go up with these games. That way Sony can offset the stuff that is on Epic and Steam and things like that. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. For a second there, you thought I was going to say Fight the Power, Public Enemy. That's a great song too, but don't believe the hype, man. That's where I'm at with this. Don't believe it until Sony says it. And if Sony comes out and says it, it's cool. But what if Sony doesn't do that? What are you going to say to these people that are on this? You see what I'm saying? Because I know what I'm going to be saying about them. So I'm going to be going up in them. Going up in them cheeks. All right? So they better hope it's true because they didn't put a lot out there. They got a lot on the line with this. So we're going to see. We're going to see in about 5 weeks if them cheeks are going to be exposed or not. Like Don Lemon when he goes to prison. Don Lemon is sitting up there taking pictures with Rihanna. I'm like, well, he's gonna need that help when he's in prison to keep them dudes off his cheeks. So the way it's gonna be working. So Wolverine is owned by SIE. Marvel owns the IP, which Sony paid the licensing for. Again, Wolverine is owned by Marvel. That's who owns Wolverine. Sony does have the license to make the game. That's it. And Sony has publishing rights. So they can publish it to Timbuktu if they want to. That's it. So if Marvel Games believes they're leaving money on the table, they will ask Sony to publish the game to PC because Sony has Nixon Studios and that's what Sony is doing. You know, and that's what they'll do because that's what's best. That's the bottom line is the money. So we'll see. But I'm fairly bullish that their Wolverine will be on PC. It may not, I want to make this clear, it may not be there till 2029. But it's going to get there eventually. It'll get there eventually. El Nini in the house, he is a mod. And he says that PSSR2 update coming this month. Get it ready. So apparently because I didn't know this. There was a beta program out that Sony, I think, put out where some people had some people had put out that they had pictures of them saying you can enhance your games and stuff like that. My PlayStation doesn't have that. I've got the one for the PS4 enhancements, but not the PS5 enhancements on the Pro using PSSR. But apparently one of the updates that's coming is going to be of that. It's going to be of the toggle switch. I think they're calling it a toggle switch. So you can just toggle PSSR on or off. So, but again, the other game that announced, EA, Electronic Arts, has announced that Battlefield 6 will go ahead and update as well. So I'm going to play Battlefield today. I'll start it over. I'll start Battlefield over because I remember that opening scene, which is effing phenomenal. Because I'm not a big Battlefield game player. I do like the Call of Duty series more. The Call of Duty series more feels more, compact. The Battlefield series, and this is, you're fighting against, it's like NATO's fighting against something called Pax Armada. It's just weird. Or as you kids would say, word. So it is what it is. But yeah, there is an update coming if you have the Pro. Now, remember what I told you guys when I got my Pro. I said going forward, when I talk about PlayStation, it's going to be from the eyes of a Pro owner. So if you have the base PS5, I'm not the guy you want to really be listening to because I don't have the base. I got rid of my base PS5. I gave it to my niece. So I was going to sell it back to GameStop, but my niece was like, well, I'll take it. I'll use it. I'm like, all right. So she does game a little bit, but she's a grown woman, so she can do whatever she wants, right? And it says that the reason why I think they're removing the peak from PCs because they haven't made much money to where impact, and it's probably a waste. And to Magnus and Steam Machine. Look, you might be correct, but since Sony hasn't said it, it's not true until Sony says it. Now, it's okay for you to believe it, though. I understand. I'm not poo-pooing if you do believe it. I'm telling you why I don't believe it. So, and I'm not here to convince you that you're wrong. It's up to you. But if you are wrong, then there could be some people coming for that ass. And so you know it, so that you know to protect them cheeks. Because they're going to be out there, okay? These PC dudes, I'm telling you, I've watched a lot of these streams all weekend, and they are mad. They're talking about Sony being anti-consumer, yet still they have iPhones and iPads and stuff like that. They have iTunes. Why isn't iTunes anti-consumer? You see what I'm saying? Why? Why is so? It's stupid at this point. Why does my Android app have more apps than Apple? Why does Apple not have as many apps? Well, is that anti-consumerism? Listen, these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. So, is what it is. Let's see here. Since Steam Machine is going to be free online, plus Sony games coming to it later, not a good look. Well, again, you're not wrong about that. And there's no such thing as free online. Okay, there's not. Because you all have to pay for internet access, no matter who you use, whether it's Fios or Google Fiber or Spectrum. Like I have Spectrum and I pay a monthly fee to get on the internet. So I don't know why people keep on saying it's free online. There's no such thing as free online. So it just is. It is what it is. So only the movie rights are owned by Sony. So movies and short films, things that are over like 24 minutes. It's something like that. That's why the cartoons, like if the Marvel with the animated stuff, they're going to be doing like for Silk, that's not going to be owned by Sony. That is going to be owned by Marvel. Now, if the Silk cartoon each is episodic, the Silk cartoon is going to be episodic. So when that cartoon hits, don't be shocked if the cartoons are only 19 minutes long, because that takes them out. That takes them out of the short film. And now they're not in conflict with Sony. However, Sony SIE can approach Marvel games and say, hey, look, we really like the Silk character. And again, they like her because they show Cindy Moon at the end of either Miles Morales or the Spider-Man game. Kind of a spoiler for you right there, but Spider-Man 2 is close to 2.5 years old. At the end, Miles's mother, her friend comes over for dinner. Her friend's name is Henry Moon. You know, that's when, you know, you're doing that stuff about the art. If you play Miles Morales, you're doing all the art stuff. If you do those missions, when you do those missions, you're helping Henry Moon. That's your mother's friend. For Miles's mother's friend. And at the end, he says, hi, Miles. How are you doing? Nice to meet you. Then he says, this is my daughter, Cindy. And they don't show Cindy's face. She's just standing behind her dad. And she says, hi. You don't see her face, though. They show her from behind. Cindy Moon is Silk. So that Spider-Man, that version of a Spider-Man, I truly believe will be in Spider-Man 3. Whether it be DLC or whether it's going to be part of the actual game, we'll see. So, let's see here. And let's see here. Sony pushing heavy God of War. Let's see how they tackle the remakes. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm interested in it. Yeah. And also remember, and I put up there that the Cory Barlog game is with Freya. I forgot who the girl's name is. It's the mom, and the game is being attacked for being woke. And that means I'm going to buy it, right? The game is woke. And since the game is woke, we're going to buy it, right? I'm buying the game. Day one. I was not interested because, again, I don't think Kratos is the God of War. I think it's Ares. However, the game that I'm playing right now, Ragnarok, is fun. It's fun to play. You know, throwing that axe around, you know, stuff like that. But he ain't the God of War. That's Ares. However, I'm going to buy this one because people are screaming that the game is woke, and I'm going to buy it. Because woke is, go woke, you get rich. You know, that's my saying up over here, but put that on some t-shirts. Go woke, get rich. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see here. All we got here. Nalini Sings believes PlayStation has secured the GTA 6 marketing rights. I agree. I am gushing to see first trailer with Pro Enhanced logo. Yeah. Well, there's a very good chance you'll see that in the spring. Okay, there's a chance you'll see it. So Brios is in the house. Has Starfield coming to PS5, $49.99. Are you sure about that? Has that been announced? Is that true? Let's see here. Let's see if we can break some news here. Oh, you're right. Holy cow. This broke 20 minutes ago. Thank you for that. Shout out to Brios for this. There you go. It is here. Let's put it up on the screen here. This just broke 20 minutes ago inside gaming. And here you go. Oh, I bet Twitter. Oh my gosh. We'll see what they're saying on Twitter. I bet J-Dub is going, because J-Dub, I can see why these bots don't like J-Dub. He was giving them the blues over the weekend. He was giving these dudes the blues over the weekend. But here, let's put this up on your screen, guys. Remember, this is the game of the generation, according to the bots. And here it is. Starfield PS5 release date confirmed. Prices and additions revealed. Holy cow. The game of the generation is going. Let's see what they're. Hold on. Let me see if I can see here. Let's go to Twitter. But you know they going off on here. Let's see. Because it just broke. It just broke. So. To PS5. Oh, did I spell that wrong? Yep. And let me see here. I'm just going to put this. Let me copy that. Let's go over here. Now, can we wish list it? Can we wish list this? Now, Bill Coon, he also got it out. He got it out a half hour ago. Mr. Chris Hardy, is that his name? Mr. Harty. He's got it. It's coming in April. Wow, April's gonna be a busy month. Wario 64. That's all I see right now, but you know it's going to be burning up here pretty soon. Also, if you didn't know, Sony and Kodakawa, with their Kodakawa purchase, they have established a new company called Animec. Animec is anime plus cinema. So just so you know that going forward. So all you all who didn't believe that they own Kodakawa, they've actually created a new company. So let's see what else we got here. Won't get money. Yeah. Now, how many of you all are going to be buying? How many of you all are going to be buying the new God of War game with the woman? This is a woman in the lead. Doesn't mean we won't see Kratos and nobody else. But what do you all think about it? Are you all excited? Is that something you're going to buy? Now, we got another 5 minutes left on that poll. Pause. So, and it's simple. Do you believe the rumor of Sony moving away from launching games on PC? Now, 79% of you are saying, yeah, you do believe it. Okay, that's fine. That's where you all are at. Good deal. Then he says Spider-Man, Hulk, and Punisher. Spider-Man Brand New Day should make a bill. Oh, okay, cool. That will be different. Well, yeah, if you're going to have, because Daredevil's supposed to be in it as well, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Hold on, what we got here? Mr. What's it? Lamont Earl saying that poor WeForge Gaming got eviscerated for saying Starfield was coming. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people did. Don't feel bad. LDD says, get it ready. You damn right. You better get it ready. If Sony starts charging more money, I've been telling you that for a year. Get it ready. Just have your money ready and you'll be fine. Talk that it says not true because internet service is a separate provider. Sony is a separate provider where they charge for the services. Well, yes, charging for services isn't wrong. And you have to, and again, in order for you to buy the game, and Sony is going to change. You're going to need a Sony, a PSN to get their stuff, especially their online stuff. So I know that's going to change. Yeah. Eldini says you can't wishlist it yet. Just check on the app. Okay. All right. All righty. Sony better make God of War girl bald. Well, in that screenshot that I saw, she's not, but we'll see. So, Plus Ultra says if it's good, need to see it first. If you're talking about Starfield, if you like those type of processes in your games, you will enjoy Starfield. The space travel, to going to different planets, understanding that when you land on a planet, if you don't have the right stuff available to your like on your spacesuit, you'll die. You will die on that planet. So okay. That's not who I was expecting it from. Why in the world are my text messages are not? Let me go into my settings here on my phone. Media. Ring. I thought I did this. No. All right. Now I can hear. No. Okay. Sony needs to pay for this. Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as free internet. So I don't know why people keep saying that, but you got to pay for to have it. You know, if it was free, I could just hook it up and it would just come on. But yeah, you have to pay for apps, and you know, I pay for Amazon, I pay for Peacock, I pay for Disney Plus, I pay for that. Okay. And if you don't know, Detective Seeds also has a new account called @GreenZoneBytes. So if you all are interested in that, so just so you know, And let me see here. Any more questions? Metal Gear Solid 4, get it? Yeah, that's coming. So and apparently that's also moving consoles too, because again, you have to remember, and I'll speak for myself. I had a 360 when Metal Gear 4 came out, and I said, "Holy crap, that's a video game!" And now that they're redoing it specifically, again, this is the relationship that Sony has fostered with Konami games. That is the relationship they foster, and that is a good thing. You dig? Okay. And so what? They want to make it multi-plat. So that's good for the Xbox community too, because we wanted, I wanted to play that game. It had a 360 and I was mad. All right, we're going to end the poll right there. You'll pass on Starfield 76. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. That is fine. You're talking about God of War. Okay. So what about God of War? If it's good, you need to see it first. Okay, that's fine. Lean on Me 1989, great movie. Played Starfield. You were annoyed at how they chose to end the game. Okay, well, don't spoil it because I haven't ended anything. I'm still playing it, but I will restart it on the and again, because I don't know what the point of the game is besides, besides going to the different planets and trying to establish outposts. And that's what I was doing. I was trying to establish outposts and things like that. So hopefully they keep it going. I thought Starfield could have been good as a MMO. And maybe that's exactly what they'll do with it, because they're doing it with Fallout, so they can do it with Starfield as well. But Jim Ryan got his wish. He finally, like I said, Jim Ryan won. He got Starfield. So here's what it is. But guys, if you don't have any more questions or comments, we'll go ahead and pack it up. It's almost 9 o'clock, so at least on my time. So any more questions or comments? If not, just remember, yes, where Sony is saying that, until Sony officially comes out and says they're getting out of the PC stuff, that just don't believe they're doing it. Okay, don't believe they're doing it, and just protect yourself. But I understand. I can appreciate if you want to say, well, these guys are really good, got information. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's cool. But all right then. That's it. We're going to bounce like a check. I appreciate you all being here. Make sure you hit the like button and share. Enjoy it. And looks like we get more games. You got Starfield coming in April. You got Soros coming in April. You got all kind of stuff. We got, you already got Resident Evil out. You got Crimson Desert coming out. So if you're a gamer in the PlayStation ecosystem, you're eating good, as you kids would say. If you're a fanboy, your butt hurt over Bluepoint. That's just the way it is. All right, guys, that's it. Appreciate you. Love you. You take care of yourselves, and you have a good rest of the week, and I will talk to you guys on tomorrow night at 6 frames on lag.